What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Veve Bros. I'm Grandison Crawford.
I'm Tony. Get the on me.
Tony, get the on me. And today we're doing market moves where we talk about the general consensus of the market, just how the vibe is. We talk about a few things that we purchased and some moves that we might be making in the future. So starting out, how you feeling, Tony? Get the on me.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
good.
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. I was sitting on gyms. I was nesting.
What you mean?
I was waiting for Black Panther to hatch my collectible, but after a while I just started feeling like, I needed to jump on something else, man.
Right.
Else.
Well, so to take a step back, like the vibe of the market right now is kind of brutal. Like people lost a lot in terms of like value. So it's really like a bearish market right now. And so things are very low. So you were saying about like Black Panther, you were what is it at now? I think it's at 1.8, right?
Okay. Yeah, it's 1.8 now. Yeah, it's at
1.8K.
Yeah.
And when you were trying to get and we're talking about the Black Panther secret rare, right?
Yeah, secret rare Black Panther. I've been kind of checking the daily movement of that collectible, and I've been waiting it to dip at a certain price for me to jump on it. It really didn't hit that price, and I started to like.
What was that price?
I wanted to hit like 1.4.
Right.
1.4, 1.3. That would have been nice. That would have been a nice price for me to jump on it. But being as though it didn't hit that price, and I don't know, I just kind of started to, lean more to comic books. I was just looking at some comic books and listening to certain people, and I was just like, man, let me see what these comic books do though.
Right. So what comic books were you kind of leaning towards?
Some FAs, like I think FAs are very important comic books, right? We do have a lot of those on the app.
So and first appearances. Yeah.
And also I've been looking at the amount of the comic book we have left on the app. I think that's one of the stats that go unnoticed a lot.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like checking out like, oh, okay, we have 200 something of, Spider-Man or Ultimate Fallout or something like that. There's a few comic books that are under like 300 editions left overall. You know what I mean? Amongst like all the rarities.
So you're talking about like the ultra rare?
So this one, ultra rare Ultimate Fallout, there's only for this ultra rare, it's only 22, I believe, left.
Yeah, it looks like it's 28 listings right now.
Yeah, so 28. Yeah, I think on an updated version it's a little less than that 28. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at comic books like this. I actually grabbed one of these Ultimate Fallout comic books.
Oh, nice.
I caught it. Yesterday actually I quoted at 850, and look at the floor price now, 900, and I think
900. I think this is a couple hours behind, so it's actually like 950 right now floor price.
So
and what made you kind of start targeting comics versus sticking to your Black Panther secret rare? Like what was kind of your thinking on that?
Well, it was two things that happened. One, I went to the Verizon store to change carriers because I'm tired of Sprint. Sprint is killing me. I had to Sprint on their ass. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're killing me. So I was.
There goes our sponsor.
Yeah. We never want them as a sponsor. Forget those guys. All right. So I was at Verizon and I seen this dude, this older guy. And he had a shirt. It was a comic book shirt. It was a shirt of a comic book cover, and it had like Hawkeye on it. And I wanted to break the ice, and I was like, to say something to him. I was like, hey, that's Hawkeye, right? I was like, that's the first appearance of Hawkeye? And it wasn't. It was like Hawkeye with Spider-Man. And he like immediately like check me on like, the first appearance. He was like, no, that's not the first appearance of Hawkeye. Actually 1959 with Iron Man is the one with first appearance.
Dang, he like real life flexed on you?
Yeah, I was like, but he came off, he was cool. It wasn't super cocky, but it was like, he was like, I know my ish. I just got this one because I really like the cover. And I was like, I just had an epiphany. I was just like, whoa, bro, like this comic ish is real, bro. Like the fact that he was just like wearing a comic book shirt, did not even like know the stats of it. At that moment, I was like, yo, I need to like really get into these comic books. And then I seen that Elite Comics had like a convention, and they still have a convention going on now.
Yeah.
And, like some of the sponsors in the convention, and this is a comic book company.
Yeah.
They have CGC, and if you know CGC, that's the grading company that the comic books go through or whatever.
Right.
And then VV was also a part of it. Yep. And VV is like they're giving out free comics to sponsor or to give out as like raffles, like prizes and stuff.
Well, so just to clear it up, they are not giving out free comics. They're giving out comics if you spend a certain amount.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
The Elite Comics like digital convention. And Elite Comics, for those in the community, some of you might know Comics and Crypto. That's one of the more recent sponsors of Comics and Crypto. Yeah. Definitely a dope channel. They break down some of the different comic books and whether you should hodl or sell. So definitely check that out on your own. Definitely a shout out to Comics and Crypto. But so you were saying that you saw this digital convention and you were thinking kind of like the comics might pump because of it.
Yeah. I was like, holy ish, like this. This convention is happening on, I think it happened on the 8th, March 8th. And I was like, oh man, like this is probably it's probably going to trigger a pump in VV, especially VV, being a sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, so I was just like, okay, let me pay more attention to these comics. I'm sitting here waiting for Black Panther to dip when there's some good comic books that already dipped that's on the market. A lot of these, like I said, FAs, a lot of these, big characters of FA, so I'm just like, and we know the real world value of these comic books. Right. And I don't know. I don't know why, but the fact that VV continues to drop comic books, I think they're just like, I mean, obviously they're going to keep, giving us collectibles as well. But right now, I think they really want to establish themselves as like, yo, this is where you come at for digital comic books.
Well, it's especially so like to play off of that, like it's to me, because they're not just digital comics. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but right now DC Infinite Universe is launching their kind of like dive into NFTs. But for the most part, I have a couple of them. I have like a common Batman and I have a common Green Lantern little floppy disk that eventually will turn into something. I don't know what it'll be. Nobody does. But besides that, DC is doing mostly digital comics and they're not really existent in terms of NFT comics on VV. But Marvel releasing all these NFT comics, like these old comics. I know I was talking to you, I think last night, about you got one of the other comics you got was the Spider-Man #1, right?
Yeah, I grabbed two of those. Yeah, I grabbed two of those.
Like the fact that these books are being released on VV first, is kind of a huge thing. Because I
think they're going to be exclusively too. I don't think it's just going to be like the first. I think they're going to have exclusiveness. Like there's not going to be any other like people making these comics.
Oh yeah, I don't think that definitely don't think Marvel is going to re-release these anywhere else. I mean, because it's probably in the contract, right? Like, and if you think about it, like if you look at a lot of the other crypto projects and things. Like I subscribe to Blanco's email, Blanco's block party, I think it is. And it's cool, but the entry point is like $200 for stuff. Oh, whereas wow. If you look right here, I was able to get a Spider-Man #1 when it first dropped. This is the original one. Not the first appearance of Spider-Man. That was Amazing Fantasy 15, but this was, his first solo comic as himself with his own name as the title. $6.99 for this comic. And now if you look at like the floor price, it's like $130, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had a couple of those a while back too. I bought mine for a little bit more than $6.99. Mm-hmm. I think it was like $20.
Yeah.
I grabbed like 3 of them, and I was able to sell those before the dip at like $2 something.
Right.
But yeah, and once I sold my comics, I was just like, okay, well, they did me well. Mm-hmm. Let me get the collectibles I want now. But
right.
Man.
Right. Because
strategy changes on this app, bro.
I mean, that's the thing is like, whatever the main thing that really I know I have to be careful about is like getting too excited about everything.
Yeah.
Right. Because everything's cool. Like I could buy a bunch of comics, I could buy a bunch of collectibles, I could do a mix of both, but like setting kind of a game strategy. And I know that like you actually, in the time that we've talked about, making this content and stuff like that, you usually have kind of like a goal in mind for different things. And I really actually like that. In terms of like getting it done. Cause like, so for me, I haven't made a ton of moves in this dip because I'm still waiting for a Medium article on the next big drop, because I really think that there's going to be an even bigger dip on the next drop. Plus, when the money transmitter license drops, I think that there's going to be an additional dip briefly for everything, right? Because we saw not all-time lows, but like huge drops for the newer collectibles, and some of the older collectibles dropped almost to what they were months ago.
But see, the more that things develop, especially as far as the MTL goes, I don't think they're gonna like release MTL to everyone all at once.
No, they already said they're not.
Okay, so I mean, like, I don't know if it's going to like dip. Well, they never said. They said they weren't going to do it. I think they were saying like certain people are beta, right?
It's in beta, so yeah, they're not. They already aren't releasing it all at once. They're doing beta of like groups of like a certain percent at a time is testing it right now.
But are these groups like I want? That's interesting because I mean we don't know who these groups are though. Like I mean, are these groups of people who are actually Veve users, or are these groups of people that are like working with Veve? You know what I mean? Like, are they a part of the company? Like,
no, they're Veve users.
Veve users.
You just have to still meet the criteria for the MTL, right? So, for example, I'm sure that they're not beta testing with people who don't have 1,000 gems on their account, which is one of the criteria right now in order to even qualify for cashing out. And it doesn't really matter to me if we know which groups of people are. It does matter if it's
it would be interesting to know though, like to know like someone who actually has the MTL though, right? When you say
it would be interesting, but I don't know if it matters, because like the goal is to get that together, and I'm patient about that. For me, like the sooner that happens, there's 2 things that can go down, right? Like there's one thing where you'll have a bunch of people leave, maybe market crashes. And then another thing, you'll have bigger whales coming in. So the amount of kind of give and take of when you can buy things, when you sell things and buy dips is going to change, because the more whales that are involved, you're going to see a lot smaller backtracking of these collectibles and comic books, because they're going to be able to afford, so it could keep prices high, right? Now you're relying on drops, and drops are the most difficult thing to get now because of how many people are going for them. So it's a little, to me, like, take your time, Veve. If you're watching this video, take your time, Veve.
They definitely are.
You know, I mean, I think a lot of the people who what?
So we've been waiting.
We've been, I mean, I'm not in a rush, man. Like,
I'm not
I
either.
feel like a lot of people who are in a rush are people who are putting money they shouldn't be putting in. I'm saying, like, if you can't pay the rent, don't be putting $500 on comic books. Like, you shouldn't be doing this if you're really hurting that bad for it. And at the same time, I understand why people want to take profits and cash out. If you sitting on a stack of, 50K in value, then the idea of you cashing out is fantastic. But yeah, moving into some of the moves that I'm trying to make, I haven't really bought anything lately. Basically, I'm trying to grab like a ultra rare. I'm trying to grab an ultra rare Black Panther. If we look at this real quick, the ultra rare Black Panther. I'm trying to grab it at 300. I'm hoping that there's a dip that goes down to that.
Yeah, where's it at now?
Right now the ultra rare is at, I think it's 414 right now. It was under 400 though. It was like high threes.
Yeah, I remember it being like 355 for a little while. 330 was a low.
Yeah, 330 was a low in February, and it hasn't gone that low in a while. But I think that it could. I mean, you see, it's leveling out right now. I think that we could see another dip in the marketplace relatively soon. My next thing that I'm trying to grab is an Aston Martin UR. I already have the secret rare, which is dope, and that's been pumping. If we want to look at that.
The static one?
You say what?
Static one?
Yeah, the static one. So Aston Martin, let's get in this. So we have the secret rare. I have one of these. So it is right now at 6.1K basically, 6.2 basically. All-time high floor price was almost 8,000. And then the low, it went all the way down to 4.7. So if you look at this graph, it was kind of hectic, and it's on the rise right now. So I'm liking that. But I wanna get a static, because the static is its own set. So if you look at the static, and also one thing that is in the community that's a misconception is that the static, you won't be able to drive it in the Veve Bros. Reese actually said that the static just refers to whether or not you can open doors and shoot guns. It doesn't mean that you can't drive it around when the Veve Bros drops. So people who are like, oh man, why would anyone want the static? You can't drive it in the Veve Bros. They specifically said that's not true. It doesn't mean you can't. So,
but you can't open the doors though?
I mean, if I can drive it around, I don't need to see the animation of the doors opening.
Yeah, but who's driving it then? If it's in a Veve Bros?
If it's in the Veve Bros, your character can just click on it and get in, just like a Grand Theft Auto.
Because the doors don't open. He's gonna have to climb through the window.
Teleport into it. It's a digital space. The world.
Teleport. Telling me I gotta have a Nightcrawler collectible in order to.
Oh, you fooling for that? Oh man, I mean, it's not real. You don't have to.
It's real.
Open a door to get into it, but
Veve Bros, bro.
But the secret rare, I mean, you can open the doors. I have like a video. You can definitely check that out, where I'm like cruising around in the streets late night. 48-minute rebound. So definitely check that out if you want to see what the
I like how you spent that. Like you like, yeah, but the secret rare, them doors open, so you catch me on that.
I mean, shoot, this is our channel, baby. We might as well flex.
Yeah, so anyway, you want to catch me at night, baby, cruising.
So you want to catch me cruising.
My door's always open, baby.
Door's open, man. And then I'm trying to get Donald and Daisy when it hits 700, as well as another Triumph. Donald and Daisy recently had a pump. It went all the way back up to almost a K.
You didn't grab a Donald and Daisy yet?
You say what?
You didn't grab one? You didn't grab any?
I have one. I'm trying to get a dupe. I'm trying to flex with that double up. You know what I mean?
Trying to double it up, man. I understand that.
So it was all the way down. I could have got the 795 one. It was
You seen that when it was down that low?
Yep. But I mean, I'm at like, you know, I'm not crazy gem liquid. I am nice. Like I'll be able to get almost any drop. And if they do drop another $1,000 one, I'll still have a good like almost 600 gems. If I were to pull that. I mean, if I got 2 super rare drops like that, that would be incredible. And I probably would sell when it hit the market, because if I sold the Aston Martin secret rare when it first hit the market at an all-time high, I could have almost got 8K for it and bought 2 when it was at its low. So, you know, but I'm good with where I'm at. I'm gonna hold it. I just got invited to the Discord, the little DB5 owners Discord. So for me, I'm like, there's long-term utility socially and some kind of cool flex shit. So
yeah, I think it's dope when you have like a community like that, a community within the community, especially with collectibles, because I just feel like it just makes y'all hold those collectibles longer,
right?
Know? Because you're no longer in the community anymore if you sell it,
right?
Yeah. So, and it's so much, man. I mean, for collectibles like that, man, it's so important to hold on to those, man.
Right, especially because there's like only 507 of those, and then there's 7 of the like super secret rare ones, and we actually have I think we have 7 and 6 in the club already. So
number 7 and number 6.
Yep, number 7 and number 6. We actually have 15% of the total supply of the secret rare Aston Martins already on the Discord.
Damn.
So, you know, they're really trying to pump
everybody. It. Yeah, y'all gotta get everybody on there.
We gotta get everybody. I'm trying to make. I've been pushing them to try and like do a little mini documentary where, you know, we all record like a 30-second snippet on like, you know, just a quick background, like, hey, I'm Grandison, I'm from LA, like I got the thing on the drop, or if somebody bought it on the secondary market, like what they bought it for, and like, you know, I'm gonna hold long term, or, you know, I'm only in the club for a little while type of stuff, and then put it together with like footage of the driving it around and stuff like that. Maybe even hit up a Non-Fungible Wonderful to get his music like playing.
Yeah, get his stuff on there, right?
Get some media going on. So then for my last market move, I'm also looking to get in addition to Donald and Daisy, the UR ultra rare Black Panther, another Donald and Daisy Triumph. I want to get that Triumph bike. We got one on the drop, me and the crew, but I really want to get another one because it's its own set, and I'm trying to swoop on it if it hits 100. Right now, floor price is 172. It keeps bouncing back from like 169 to like 190.
But one of the things that you're really into, you're really into the MCP points, right?
Right. I'm into the Master Collector program.
Right. The program, right?
Yeah, because I don't know if you looked at the article I sent you, but basically it allows you to kind of more secure drops based on your position and in your rank, in your points, and really cash in on the rarity that you want, because you can pull 3 times, because they'll have the Master Collector raffle drop, they'll have the Omi raffle drop, and they'll have the public pull. So if you have Omi Master Collector points and you go for the drop, you have the opportunity to get 3 different drops, 2 of which are targeted rarities. So that's big, man. That's huge. Yeah. Could you imagine?
That's crazy.
So
yeah, it is important to grab.
And so for you, like in terms of like moving forward, kind of leaving people, the viewers, like what are you thinking in terms of like your next moves? Are you going to be staying focused on collectibles?
Again, like I'm getting into these comics, man. Okay. I'm like I'm not looking to overstack. I think I'm kind of taking the David Yu collecting approach when it comes to like, you know, he tries to buy 3. Yeah. You know, one to trade, one to, you know, buy. I mean, one to trade, one to hold, and one to sell.
The trifecta.
The trifecta. Well, I don't know. I'm looking to grab 2 or possibly 3 if I can afford, certain ones with comic books. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning more towards comic books. Now there may be some collectibles that drop and I'm like, oh, that I gotta have it. Like I still gotta get Black Panther at some point.
You got to. I say you try and flip to get that whole set, man.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm starting. I mean, the thing is like I'm really starting to get into comic books even off the app. Like I'm like checking out, I was watching that Elite's comic. I was watching that live and it was pretty cool. And I also follow this one app called Whatnot. And they were Whatnot, they always have comic book drops. And I get excited about seeing, comics that we have on the app. Yeah. So I mean, I love that it's already a dope community in the comic world. And there's a lot of stuff, that I don't know. Comes to the Marvel universe. So I'm kind of interested in not only just collecting them, also reading them and learning a bit more about what's up what's up.
Yeah. Have you been reading your comics?
Yeah.
Nice. Which one did you read last?
Don't put me on the spot though. I ain't about to.
You ain't gonna. Oh, okay. You bullshitting. I heard it in your voice. He said, "Yeah." He went up.
No, I did read like a couple pages of.
He's like, man, that cover, that title, man. I was like, amazing.
I'm about to dig in them.
I don't know what it is about, but it seems amazing.
The one with Spider-Man.
Yeah, man, with the webs, That's real though. I mean, honestly, I have been reading less comics since I've been collecting them, just because I've been so into like the market. I've been just learning how to like maneuver it, and I'm really into the stacking. So David Yu's tight, but David Yu doesn't need the money. You know what I mean? He doesn't need the gems. So I'm like, let me get a bunch of these. Because I saw recently on like a tweet, or maybe it was Reddit, maybe it was on the Veve Reddit, where this dude, he had stacked like 30 of a comic book. And what he did was he sold them, even in this like real low market. He sold almost all of them in order to get a secret rare that would be super valuable. The latest Ghost Rider drop that dropped out. So that allows you to really get like flexibility, because you don't have to worry about not having stuff to sell. So definitely not financial advice, do you? But that's my strategy.
That's true.
You can afford it,
Yeah, that's the thing too, is just more or less being able to afford it. I mean, and also knowing what comics to stack, because all of them aren't stackable. But at the same time, a lot of them are out of the price range to stack, right? Let's be real. You can't just like say I'm about to start stacking Marvel #1s. They're 300 a pop,
Right.
But it's kind of like trying to find something that's like the next or close to like a Marvel #1. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you was laughing about Miss Marvel earlier, right? Being at $7.90. Like that's laughable numbers. And it's like first appearance of Mystique. So I mean, it's so interesting because it's like people will wait for a pump before they jump on like stacking certain things. It's like that's a comic book or whatever. Mystique, I mean, she's a very valid character, man. Like everyone knows Mystique. I mean, I feel like in that knows X-Men,
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to look at like the real world sell value, which isn't necessarily directly correlated with the digital one, but like it kind of does tell you what is popular by whatever. Like the Amazing Spider-Man #1 sold for like 3.6 million in real life. So even if it hits a fraction of that on the Veve app, that's still a lot of money. Whereas I think that the latest Miss Marvel comic, I don't think that I think it was not that much money. I'm not going to give you a number because I don't want to have to edit it out later, but but I know that it wasn't that much in terms of like it's kind of reflective of the demand. So for me, I hear you on the comic books. I think that that's an affordable way to not only get your collection up, right? Get your master collector points up, get your future liquidity up, because even at Miss Marvel, if you were to buy, say, 10 of them at $7 or whatever they are, like let's just say 7, right? That's only $70. Well, if they go up to $14, now you've made $140 if you sell them, which will get you a couple collectibles or 3 more comics or 1 of a Grail comic. So now you're in a place where then if you flip that for whatever it goes up, when the market goes up, now you can buy all of the collectibles that you had been kind of sleeping on with a $7 cheap stacking, you know? So when stuff is lower price, you don't need you don't need it to go up as high to get a good return. Whereas it's pretty difficult to say, all right, I'm going to spend $1,000 and then hope that it's going to go up to double to 2,000. It's easier to double 7 than it is to double like a K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you. I'm probably going a little more for sets, and because of the rarity of the Aston Martins, I'm really going to try and get one of those URs. I'm trying to get at least 2 of the statics, and I'm trying to maybe get at least 1 more of the secret rare, depending on, you know, the liquidity that I have in the next few months. But with that being said, definitely let us know in the comments what you're stacking, what's cracking with you, what are you trying to grab, what are you excited about that you don't have, what are you proud of that you do have. Are you focused more on the comic books like Tony Get the Omi? Are you looking more for sets like G Money? Are you aware of the various things? Also, let us know what are some things that you would like to have us talk about, in addition to you know, some of the VV verses and some of the drop info things, because we really love your feedback, and we want to make this channel somewhere that is not just an entertaining place, but is also a resource for our community. If we get some love on this video, we'll definitely do market moves more often. With that being said, I'm Grandison Crawford.
And I'm Tony Get the Omi.
We've been Veve Bros, and we'll see you when we're looking at you. Peace.